What's up, people of YouTube? This is Driftor bringing you guys another video to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about GTA Online or GTA 6 Online, however you want to look at it. But for the main focus of the video, I'm just going to refer to it as GTA 6 Online because for me personally, that's more exciting to talk about. But we're going to be discussing new business ideas. I have 10 to be specific here that I would like to see come to the game in the future. Now, some of these, I'll be honest, are pretty far-fetched and out there, and they probably won't happen. Some of them are a little bit on the riskier side, but I was just trying to get crazy with it, get fun with it, do things that I think are right up Rockstar's alley and up the ante a little bit when it comes to GTA and what it stands for, and I just think it would be a lot of fun. Before we get into the video though, if you guys could go ahead and hit the like button, I would really appreciate it, and subscribe if you are new to the channel and you are enjoying the content. Now let's go ahead and let's hop into the video. So the first business idea that I have here would be just considered internet crimes. That's what I have listed here as the title. This is something that could fall under another business, for instance. Like you could put this under a wing of the CEO jobs or a wing of the MC jobs or other options that I'll go through here in a minute. But this would consist of hackers stealing bank account information, identities, etc. You would blackmail NPCs to get money. You would do meetups. Sometimes these could lead to conflict or the cops getting involved, and I think this would be a lot of fun. And I think that sometimes you could make it to where there is a high payout from these missions. Like the harder the mission you decide to do, the more money you're going to get, but the more issues you can run into. And I feel like this would be a nice way to spice things up rather than always doing the constant crate missions. I also feel like you could have a little bit of a timer on this, because obviously you don't want to be able to farm this back to back, or at least Rockstar wouldn't want people to farm this back to back. So you can make it like a process, like you would pick a target, for instance, then you would have a team of hackers, NPC hackers, who would go into their computers, find info about this person, get whatever they can, and then you would use that info to choose a set of options. Like let's say it gives you 3 options. You know, you can choose to blackmail this person, you can choose to just steal their money, which would probably give you the least amount of money out of the whole equation, which could also lead to maybe them coming after you. You could do something where you target their friends or family, you know, threaten them with that, etc. And then each one of those options would unfold in a different way depending on who you chose. So let's say, for instance, you chose a gang member and you didn't know they were a gang member. Well, now you're involved with a fight with a small gang once you confront this person for whatever amount of money or reward you're trying to get. Or let's say you choose a police officer, and maybe you know they're a police officer or you don't know they're a police officer. This could result in the police getting involved, or if you do it the right way and you're super smart about the choices you make when you're trying to go through this, you can make a lot of money and not have the police involved. Once you complete this, let's say you have to wait a full in-game day before you can start the process of doing another one. So it wouldn't be something, you know, that you would be able to do solely just that, but it's something you could kind of work on piece by piece in the background while you're doing your other businesses. I think that would be a lot of fun. The next one that I have here is the mob. So I feel like GTA hasn't really capitalized on this yet. The CEO stuff is kind of like that, but not really. So you can be the head of a giant mob. You can choose the name of said mob. From there, you can hire a whole bunch of NPCs as you build up your reputation within the GTA Online world or GTA 6 Online world. From there, you can purchase a mansion with a multiple story car garage. You get access to certain vehicles. From there, these NPCs that you hire will commit crimes and do various different things that you station them to do, making you money kind of in the background. And then ultimately, over time, over so many in-game days or, whatever the case is, it culminates in one giant fight, for instance, between you and a rival mob or gang or the police or something along those lines. Once you commit this crime, there's a huge payout at the end of this, whether that's a reputation for the mob itself, which could get you a better category of jobs, or maybe you choose to do a specific mission with you as well as various members of your mob that you've hired to commit a specific crime. When you complete this crime and you do it successfully, then you get a pretty large payout, but again, you can only do this once in a while the NPCs that you hire to do the smaller jobs in the background bring in small amounts of money. These big jobs that you do once every, let's just throw it out there, like one in-game week, so I don't know how many hours that is, but one in-game week, when you complete these and you go through the process and you do things the way you're supposed to without really messing anything up, you can pull in a huge amount of money. Now, just to kind of throw a variable in there, So I think this would be a cool addition to kind of mix things up. When you hire these NPC mob members, there's a couple of things that can happen. The first one being is during these small events and the big ones, there's a chance that they can be arrested and or killed. If they get arrested or killed, if they get killed, you have to replace them by hiring somebody else, which would set you back a little bit in terms of money. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And if they get arrested, you have the option to post their bail, or you can wait until they get released, or you can let them go, which would be to fire them and hire somebody else to kind of speed up the process, and that just kind of weighs on you. I think it would be cool to make the fact that they can be killed affect your overall business, but don't make them as weak as regular NPCs. You don't want to see them just dropping left and right. Make them actually an actual fighting chance. Don't just make them super bad, because that would kind of defeat the whole purpose. But it kind of gives me Assassin's Creed vibes from back when you could hire new assassins to be a part of your guild, and they would sometimes die and you would have to recruit new assassins. I think it would be fun, as long as it doesn't impact your overhead too much, so it's not a huge setback, but it's just kind of like a side thing. That I think it could work out really well. The next one is a little bit touchy, and I can understand why, but I think it would be cool to see some form of prostitution brought to the game. So from here, you would control hookers in certain districts of town to turn a profit. You would have to make sure that you were hiring people, as well as you yourself would have to make sure that you're protecting the women who are working for you. So there could be certain instances, some nights it would mostly be a passive income, right? It would be listed underneath the CEO or maybe the mob work, whatever. But while you're working, doing other things, your hookers are out doing their thing, and every now and then one of them comes up missing, for instance, right? So you can either hire somebody who works for you, if they introduce it under the mob section, for example. You could hire somebody who works for you to go track that person down and save them, because just like with the whole concept of the NPC mob, the hookers that you own or purchase, however that would work, they can be killed or captured or arrested, and it would hurt your income if you don't get them back. So again, this would be something that I feel like you should be able to upgrade to where the likelihood of it happening is less and less, but it can happen, and I think that it would just add a lot of replayability to it. This is mostly just meant to be something that works in the background. It doesn't bring in a huge amount of money, but it would just kind of be fun to do. It would be kind of weird in a sort of fucked up way, but that is how GTA is and always has been, so I feel like it would fit nice within the GTA Online world. Next one here, kind of along the same genre as prostitution, we have strip clubs. So from here, you could own a completely legitimate strip club brand, and you would grow it across the map. So let's say you could have up to 3 different strip clubs across different places on the map, or maybe even more depending on how big the GTA 6 map is. And from there, you could grow the brand kind of like you would with the nightclub. You want to keep it popular, you want to keep people coming in, and you can also store cargo and stuff down in the basement and do other jobs based off of the strip clubs. And I think that's just a nice simple job. It would be fun to do, add a little bit of variety, so you're not always doing the nightclub mission or always doing motorcycle club missions. Again, it would just add a nice sort of variety to the game. Next one here is also another legitimate job, and that would be a car lot. So similar to car exports and imports, here you would actually go out and you would commit these crimes or purchase these cars to buy at a much smaller amount, so there wouldn't be like super top of the line cars. Maybe they could sprinkle in top of the line cars every now and then, kind of like they do with the crates with the super rare items, but they would just be kind of your run-of-the-mill cars. You would purchase, you would go pick up, you would deliver, and then they would sit on your car lot, and NPCs would purchase these cars over time, making you money. And then let's say you could add a shop onto this, so that way these NPCs can choose to customize the cars, and then based off of that, you would make an extra amount of money per hour, in-game hour, or in-game day, whatever the case is. And I think that would be a lot of fun, because again, it just kind of adds a sort of legitimate aspect to things, and it gives you a reason to do things outside of just the crate missions. The car lot idea would be really cool as well, if they add the ability for there to be a sort of risk with other gangs or teams of people, like not just actual players, but like let's say every now and then your car lot gets attacked, and it's your job to try and defend your car lot, or it'll get attacked and maybe you'll lose a car or two or something like that, and then you have the option to retaliate and attack the other person's car lot, or maybe steal their cars or something like that. Again, it would just add a little bit of fun to it. You can also purchase upgrades to keep it more secure, upgrades to make it look nicer, keep people coming in and out of the car lot whether they decide to purchase cars or not. I think those would all be really, really fun options. Okay, so we have another kind of sexual one here, and I apologize. A lot of these ideas I found online, so this was something that I just came up with on my end by myself, but I saw the concept and I kind of ran with it. So the next one here would be a porn studio. So as we all know, a lot of porn comes from the higher end places like Florida and California and stuff like that. So I think this would fit in well with the world. So the way that this would work would be, it would be its own separate business. You know, they would give you the option to purchase your porn studio, and you would choose your name of what you want it to be and how it's decorated, like we can with everything else in the game right now. And from there, you would hire porn stars to make porn videos that are sold online. You would destroy other studios' equipment, you know, chasing down their porn stars and maybe assassinating them, or blowing up their stuff, whether it's vehicles going from one spot to another, stealing their equipment and taking it back to your porn studio, stuff like that. And I think that, again, it would be a lot of fun. Now, obviously, they can't show pornography or anything like that, really, but you would just kind of understand the gist of what's going on while you're doing these, and you know that you're running a porn studio, even though you don't actually see any of that stuff happening. And then, of course, this whole job would turn a passive income, probably a relatively small passive income, just because you're going to be doing other things within that, like stealing their equipment or assassinating porn stars or whatever. That would also get you money. So again, I think it would just be a fun little side thing to do, nothing super serious or detailed, but I think it would be easy for them to do, and I think it would fit right with the world. The next one here is kind of similar to the car lot, but except it's going to be a gun store. So from here, you can import, export guns, so you can locate where there are certain guns at, go and find them. There'll be different levels of rarity and quality and worth. From there, you can customize certain weapons to make them worth a little bit more, and then every now and then maybe you'll get like a super rare weapon. You put these in your shop, and then you can sell them. Now, I think that they should do a little add-on here to where you can let them either sit in the shop and just kind of sell over time, or you can choose to specifically sell certain weapons. So like the higher end ones, you can sell to like military groups or hitmen or gang members or something, and then you have to go and deliver them to get your payout, kind of like you would with the vehicles. And I also think that you should have the option to do missions to kind of promote your business, so get the name out there more, get more people to come in, and you can expand the gun store across the map. So you can have multiple running at one time to increase the odds of some of those weapons that just kind of sit in the store. You can increase the odds of them selling more frequently. Another legit business would be the fast food restaurants. So like Clucking Bell or Burger Shot, etc., stuff like that. Use it to run other crime businesses like storing crates. You can also do missions to try to keep its popularity high, such as kind of like what you do with the nightclub missions to bring as many people in as possible. There's a safe, you get money. Every now and then maybe your store can get robbed, stuff like that. Pretty basic concept. I'm kind of surprised they haven't already done something like this, if we're being honest, but they can add a little spin to where you can own multiple chains. So right now, I mean, we all know that fast food restaurants, there's tons of them. So the Clucking Bell, for instance, let's say that you can purchase up to 10 of these across the map, and then the more you own, the more money you're bringing in per day, but also means that the more difficult it's going to be to run those businesses. You got to make sure that you can keep up with all of the things that they need to stay running, as well as making sure that they're not getting robbed and everything else and protected, because if not, then your popularity goes down, etc. I think that would be a super basic idea that would be pretty easy to do, and if you get them to be super popular with a whole bunch of stores, then you can make a bunch of money, but it would be hard to do. Okay, so these last two that I have here are a little bit more creative, in my opinion. I think these have the most fun factor involved, and that first one is going to be hitmen. So you would own, run, and control a small group of NPC hitmen. So let's say it's you and 4 other hitmen. You purchase a property to organize your hits, so you know, some sort of a hidden base somewhere. Say they give you 5 or 6 different options across the map to choose from, but you purchase this, you can upgrade your security equipment, upgrade the weapons that you have at your disposal inside of that location at any given time, stuff like that. Now, the NPC hitmen that you hire will do jobs while you're just kind of doing whatever, but you can hire better hitmen, but the cost would be more. So these hitmen can be doing these small jobs, just kind of doing whatever they do, and over time some of these hitmen are going to get arrested or killed or whatever, just like with the mob business, and you can hire better hitmen at more of a cost to decrease the odds of that kind of stuff happening. I already mentioned, you can purchase upgrades for your building to keep your location from being busted, found by the police and raided. You can also do hits of your own, so these require like a mission and some prep work before the actual hit happens. Missions can vary in difficulty, and this would determine the payout, such as like where the target would be located, how guarded they are, what kind of weapons you're required to use for the hit. And I think that stuff would all be a whole lot of fun. Like, I would love doing something like that, especially if it's like, use this buzzard chopper to kill this person. So you have to like find a buzzard chopper and a mission that they assign for you to do beforehand, and then you go and do this, and then you can kind of choose the level of difficulty you want for that mission. So you could choose one that's just some basic person on the street. Maybe it'll pull like 40k or something for you, but the work to do the mission, maybe it costs you 10k, so you're only getting about a 30k profit. Or you can go all the way to the max on somebody who's like super famous, and because of that, there's going to be like a whole bunch of police involved. There's going to be maybe a whole bunch of helicopters coming after you while you're trying to kill them. But if you do it successfully, maybe it only cost you 25k to set up, and you turn a profit of 80k or even 90k, and you can just kind of do these off and on as you go, just like you could with the import and export of the vehicles. I think that would be a really cool idea. Okay, so the last concept that I have here is burglary. So this is one concept that's not really a business and more of like a sub-business, I guess. The way that this would work is it would fall under your CEO stuff or the mob business idea. And the idea is to do like 1-2 prep missions on small locations. So houses, small stores, restaurants, whatever. And then you would go in and you would rob them at certain times. So like once you initiate the mission, it'll do like this concept as if they're closed or something. And then if you scouted the place properly and followed the steps, then you would go in, you would rob the store, and you would get small to medium-sized payouts, and you can do these more frequently. So like they're faster to do and more back-to-back than things like the crates or the hitman missions or mob missions, whatever. Now, just like the crates, once in a while, maybe you'll find something super rare in there, like artwork or diamonds or gold or anything like that you can turn more cash from. So I think that would just be a cool idea to get the whole vibe of the heists without actually having to do these ginormous heist missions. And you're just pulling small amounts of money, but you can do them more frequently. Like let's say the prep time to go in and do one of these takes you, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes to do, and the mission itself, if it's done properly, only takes 5 minutes. And you can do these back to back, so you can do multiple of these in an hour, and you can pull in, 30k or something like that, and it doesn't cost you much to do. I think that stuff like that would be a lot of fun. Alright guys, well that is everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. Now the video was kind of all over the place. I didn't really know how to organize this one, so I just kind of went down the list. If you guys have any business ideas that you would like to see in GTA Online or GTA 6 Online, please leave them down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas. Now again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more content, and deuces.